Yeah, does it? Hello, everyone. Welcome to our conference on artificial intelligence and the challenges and possibilities for living together. We are going to start, even though the room is not yet quite full, but I hope the others will join us soon. This event is also streamed live. We have quite some people online joining us online, so welcome everyone as well on the other side. My name is Anne Franziskus. I'm one of the coordinators of the Biergerpakt, which is the organizing organism of this conference. Just a very quick introduction. So since 2023, August, Luxembourg has a new law on intercultural living together. And this law is supposed to bring a paradigmatic change to the way we see living together in Luxembourg. So we want to move away from the concept of integration, where people who are new to Luxembourg have to adapt to Luxembourgers, and the way it is the way now. We see it more as a dynamic process where all of us who work and live in Luxembourg are supposed to do their share of the living together. And the Biergerpakt is one of the measures that has been installed by this law. And the Biergerpakt program is at the moment under construction. This is our first conference we hold in this framework. We hope it's going not to be the last, I'm sure not. And yes, I assume you are all members of the Biergerpakt because you have seen the announcement somewhere. And we offer different activities that aim to bring people together, but also provide them with some kind of new information through information sessions, but also guided tours. And it's really also the aim to make this living together happen. And the reason why we chose to start with a topic like AI is that AI also will probably bring a paradigmatic change to the way we interact with each other, but also the way we live and work. And so we think it's important also that the Biergerpakt talks about these societal issues and the way it will change our living together. And we are very happy that Serge Linckels, the managing director from the Digital Learning Hub in Belval, was willing to do this, to do a talk for us. So Serge Linckels is the managing director of the Digital Learning Hub, which is a structure that is situated in Belval and which offers high quality and professionalized learnings on IT. For example, the 42 Luxembourg is also part of the Digital Learning Hub. And Serge has very intense experiences in teaching, but also has written many books. He has a degree in computer science, but also an engineering diploma and a PhD in artificial intelligence from the Hasso-Plattner Institute. And give you the floor immediately, and we are very curious to see what you have to say.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Indeed, we have a big competitor this afternoon. The Christmas market opened 2 hours ago. So I understand, instead of following a boring presentation, to prefer spending the afternoon at the Christmas market. So I also would like to welcome all the people who are watching us online. So you said a lot. I would just dare to do a live demonstration. So it can happen that it does not work. Let's just check it out. Hello, ChatGPT. How are you doing?
Hey, Serge. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well, too, over there at the Ministère de la Famille. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm about to start the conference, and as usually, I'm very nervous. So could you maybe help me a little bit to calm myself?
Absolutely. I've got you covered. Just take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Remind yourself that you've done this before, you're well prepared, and it's totally normal to feel a bit nervous. Once you start talking, you'll probably find your rhythm. So just trust yourself, and you'll do great.
Imagine, ChatGPT, you are sitting now in front of a group of kids, say 8 years old, and they are listening to you. Could you please tell them the story of the Lion King, but use a very engaging voice? Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So, hey kids, let me tell you a really cool story about the Lion King. Imagine the African savannah, a beautiful...
On pourrait aussi continuer à parler en français?
Bien sûr, on passe en français sans problème.
Est-ce que tu pourrais me rappeler la date de la Révolution française?
Bien sûr. La Révolution française a officiellement commencé en 1789, notamment avec la crise de la Bastille, le 14 juillet.
Können wir 2 auf weiter Lützeburg schwätzen?
Klar, kein Problem. Wir wechseln auf Luxemburgisch. Genau, also.
All right, so it's for me every time amazing how good this voice recognition is, how you can switch languages and you can choose voices, accents, and so forth. Of course, Luxembourgish is still a little bit weak. This afternoon, I would like to share my passion on robots. Robots is a sub-part of artificial intelligence. And you are seeing here one of the 3 most advanced robots currently on the planet. Here in the middle, you see the very famous Boston Atlas, which this is not fake. He is working here in a workshop. On the left-hand side, you see another model, which is called FO2, working at a Volkswagen manufacturing venue somewhere in Germany. And recently, 2-3 weeks ago, the Xpeng model Iron was presented in China, which is a model who really walks nearly like a human. So it's really amazing what we have in terms of robotics. So we did a lot of advances, and well, actually, the robots advanced so fast that this August there was the very first Olympic Games in robots. It's impressive, still a way to go, but it's really cool. And if you think back on how cute you find robots when they play football, it's just cute, or they practice taekwondo, it's impressive and it's really nice. And indeed, robots are there for a very long time already in your minds, in your life. Think back to the 80s.
Hier kommt Knight Rider. Ein Auto, ein Computer, ein Mann.
I really like the German trailer because it says a man, a computer, a car. So this is really artificial intelligence. We loved watching this show. This is my youth. This is my childhood. These are all my heroes from the past. And maybe the one or the other here in the room or at home at the screen recognize one of your favorites. And there are always robots, artificial intelligence in it. We really love robots. And sometimes we sing about robots, or we dress like robots. Actually, one of the first concerts of Kraftwerk was here in Luxembourg in 1979 or something like that. Robots are so cool that sometimes even we try to walk like robots.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
I have to admit, I practice, but it's really complicated. You have to try. It's really cool. Robots exist for quite a long time in our minds. This is the first movie I found 100 years ago, a masterpiece by Fritz Lang called Metropolis. And in this movie, a scientist tries to convert a machine called Maria into an artificial intelligence. 100 years ago. So in our mind, in science fiction, artificial intelligence and robots exist for quite some time. Fast forward to 1950s. This is a little bit the dream at that time that the wife at that time was, of course, at home. And she is assisted by a robot that performs duties, daily duties at home, like preparing the coffee for the husband that comes home from work and so forth. So this was in the mind at that time. The truth at that time in the 1960s was this man, Marvin Minsky. He's actually the person who invented the name or the expression artificial intelligence. And you see in him here at his lab at the MIT working on some machines that mimic the movement of humans. Today we have plenty of machines, of robots that can perform tasks that are very dangerous for humans, like here the firefighting robots. And maybe you at home, you have also some robots. This is my home where I have plenty of robots to mow the lawn. Or this here is my recent acquisition, a robot that cleans the windows. And it works well. It helps me in daily business. This is a picture nearly 100 years old. It depicts Albert Einstein and Charlie Chaplin. Question to you is, who's the most intelligent person on that picture? Sounds good. Well, of course, if those who hesitate are really good, because ability able to learn by mistakes or to learn by experience and to improve. Today, we have 7 kinds of intelligence. And if we think about Albert Einstein, of course, number one, mathematical intelligence is what we think first. If we take another person, let's take an artist, let's take Beethoven. If we take Beethoven, for sure, Beethoven was number 5, musical intelligent. I'm not sure how good Beethoven was when it comes to mathematics. So measuring intelligence at a human being is quite complicated. Artificial intelligence is when a machine or piece of software can do 2 things. A piece of software can solve problems, and secondly, learn by experience and improve. Let's take autonomous cars, which is another subdomain of AI. An autonomous car can solve a problem. It can drive from A to B without a car crash. That's a big of a challenge. And secondly, such cars, they gather, of course, a lot of data while driving, and the more data they have, the better they can drive. Talking about autonomous cars, this is the model Waymo by Google, driving here at San Francisco. I guess it's 2.5 years that this car, these cabs, these taxis exist in San Francisco. A friend of mine was there and told me, you call the cab by your smartphone, it arrives, nobody in. You jump on the back seat, there's a screen with a red button, you click start, and the car starts driving. Eventually, you arrive at destination, you hop off, and it's all paid via your app. And he told me that it's a little bit frightening because you are alone in the car, the back seat, and you hope during the whole ride there is no car crash. There isn't. And secondly, he told me that you are alone at the car, so you kind of need, we switch microphones. Nice, thank you, Peter. Okay. And he told me you're alone at the car, so you have nobody to talk to. There is no guide to tell you what you're about to see. So well, that's brand new, and you see the car is equipped with a lot of captors, radars, and so forth. A new sport happens in San Francisco. You can buy such a T-shirt with a stop sign. You put yourself on the sidewalk, and you check if the car stops or not, because the car cannot make the difference between the concept of a traffic sign and your T-shirt. And well, that's a part of the game. What happens here in Luxembourg? Well, I work at Belleville, and at Belleville we have this bus. Maybe you see the bus driver here at the back seat. He has no steering wheel at all. He's just there in it playing with his phone, maybe to give a feeling of security, but he doesn't do anything. And this bus drives on a given route from A to B all the day long. And here at Lellingen is a very small village in Luxembourg, there is Pony AI, one of the world's biggest AI self-driving cars companies, who is doing experiments here in Luxembourg. So we have already certain things, but still in a more experimental way. Our friends in China are a little bit more advanced. They recently legalized helicopter taxis. So you call a helicopter, there's no pilot in it, you just jump in the helicopter and that flies you to your destination. Pretty cool, yes. And it is not AI, it's this new kind of shoes. Has nothing to do with AI, but I found it so fancy, I said, I have to show it to you. This is brand new, maybe a Christmas gift. Reminds me a little bit of the 80s, Back to the Future, you know, the hoovering shoes. And it appears that these shoes make not a lot of noise, and I read that by moving your body, you can kind of control it and so forth. Sounds and looks really fancy. Well, this is of course the opposite. This worries me a lot. Robots with a gun on top of it, and in this current times, this is something, yes, like robot soldiers that worries me. Have you been in Amsterdam? This is my favorite restaurant at Amsterdam. It's a Chinese restaurant, and you are served by robots. You're sitting on the table, nobody shows up, you have to scan your QR code, you have to select a menu, and eventually the robot arrives with your plate on it, and then and only then a human comes, puts the plate on your table. And I asked the waiter, is this now a tourist gimmick? No, he told me, we are a big restaurant, we have lots of robots, and only the robots can go in and out of the kitchen to manage the congestion. Pretty cool. Yes, we have such things as well here in Luxembourg. This is a restaurant I visited in Remisch. We have one in Nidderkorn as well. In Remisch, there's just one robot. It was not working when I was there, but nevertheless, we have such thing as well. Maybe. Well, it was an error message on it, but not sure. Staying a little bit in Luxembourg, what happens in Luxembourg? This is a company, a Luxembourgish company called Space-Time, and they are working within other clients. They have the administration of forests in Luxembourg, Natur et Forêt. And they have this fancy Boston Dynamics dogs robots, and they throw the robots in a Luxembourgish forest, and with its laser, the robot can scan every tree, every branch, even every leaf. And that makes a huge amount of data. And the CEO was at my office, and he showed me the representation, or like this, and you can literally, like in a computer game, scroll or go through the forest. It's impressive. And the administration of forests can repeat this mission, and over time they have actual evidence, actual data, how the Luxembourgish forests is changing, for example, due to the climate changes. I'm really proud about this company. We as Luxembourg can be proud of this company called LuxAI. They are located at the Boulevard Royal. They are inventing and building these robots called Cuties. They are big like that. And you see they have a tablet as a screen. And the robots are code programmed that they can understand voice and also answer by voice and in an empathic way. And these robots are shipped from Luxembourg worldwide to orphanage, for example, and elderly houses, because at both there is no visit. Orphanages have no parents, and a lot of people work too much. They have not the time to visit the elderly people at the shelters. And the business model here is better talk to a robot in an empathic way that answers you and so forth than to nobody. They use this kind of robots also in specialized schools where kids have trouble learning, for example, foreign languages or whatsoever. And this is a pretty cool thing. This lady is well known in the social media. She is paralyzed from the hips on. And thanks to such an exoskeleton, she can again walk. This is a picture I took at the Luxembourgish Science Festival. This gentleman, you see, has an antenna built in his skull. And this gentleman cannot see colors. In French, you say daltonien, I think. He cannot see colors. And he is an engineer. He invented this antenna, which makes sounds, frequencies, according to the color. And he can move the antenna, and he learned detecting the different frequencies, and now can again read colors. Pretty cool. This is a picture I took at a conference where these two gentlemen here in the middle are not sleeping. In contrary, they are working very hard. You see, they have this headbands, and these headbands measure their brain signals, their brain activities. And they are trying to control this ball, this drone, by thinking. So, talking about Christmas marketing, about the next gifts you have to buy. It's, for example, Lego Mindstorms who's building this. You know, having this kind of joysticks to control a robot, a car, this is old school. This was the ancient Greek. Today, the kids can control the gimmicks just by thinking about it. So they buy it and they have to train it. They think left, they have to think a second time left, and every time you think left, there are different brain signals. And the AI is capable of recognizing patterns. So once you have trained it, once the system has acquired enough data about thinking left, they recognize the pattern, and from that on, you can control the car by thinking left, right, rear, front, and so forth. And it works with basic commands. And here the game is who has the strongest mind, the strongest thinkings to put the ball in the left or right goal. Pretty amazing. Currently, there are 11 of these head sets that exist on the market. Of course, in industry, this is, of course, an application, but also in the healthcare sector. There are a lot of people who have not the chance we have, who are paralyzed and who cannot speak. And the idea is they can put a headset on and just think a text which is then written in Word. Would be great. We haven't that yet, but it would be something really great. If you think this is Chinese schnick-schnack, no. This is a Luxembourgish company, Brain Intelligence, working exactly here in Luxembourg in this area. We invited this guy over at our training institute, and volunteers who came out of the training could put on such a helmet, and we ask questions. And then you can measure their emotions, their feeling. Are they scared? Are they happy? Are they worried? Are they sleepy? Whatsoever. It's really pretty cool. Well, you can think about Elon Musk, whatever you want. This guy has also a company called Neuralink working in this area.
So what can you show us that as a demonstration of what you can now do?
Here we go. This is the Link app. This is how I control everything. This is the app that they've uploaded onto my computer that lets me control the cursor. This is my devotional that I've been reading all the time, every day. And then this is me playing chess.
So wait a minute, you're moving the cursor, Nolan, just by thinking about where you want it to go, or is it your eyes?
No, it's just me thinking about wherever I want it to go.
Oh man! So
Yeah,
you're not
so-
even tracing it with your eyes. You're just looking at it.
Nope, I can move it and I can move the cursor around, whatever I would like to do. I don't have to be staring at it at all. I mean, it's amazing. There's not even words to describe. Yeah, there's not even words to describe how amazing this tech is.
There are currently 2 people on the planet who have implanted this big surgery, who have implanted in their brain this kind of device, and it's very promising. The last example in this area I would like to show you is really scary. It's from the University of Osaka in Japan. They are doing the following experiment. They put you in an MRI, and in the MRI, when you're in this tube, you have a screen and you see, for example, a video of a cat. Believe it or not, on the outside, researchers see on their screen this. They can see that you are thinking on the cat and more or less closely the movement of the cat. So this is no Tom Cruise Minority Report Hollywood blockbuster. This is current research. So we are close to read or depict in pictures what people are thinking about. Really impressive or kind of scary as well. Yes, you guys, AI is there. AI hits us hard. AI will never ever disappear. It will remain. So the big shift is happening to our society. You can be scared, you can be happy, you can be something in between it, but it's happening. Now, some of you might think before everything was better, the good old times when there was no AI. I'm not so sure if before everything was better and more secure. Well, it was just, say, different a little bit. And of course, today, we are a little bit scared by such a big change. Well, I have to tell you that in the last decades of our society, there have already been new technologies that hit us hard. For example, I think on this device, which is not AI. It's not AI, but let's say 20 years ago, it hit us very hard.
Paris, prochain arrêt, Paris, prochain arrêt, Paris, Paris, prochain arrêt.
Your stop. Oh yeah, my stop. It was really nice meeting you.
Yeah. Wait, I know this sounds crazy, but I know Paris. Maybe I should come with you to show you the city?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be really nice actually. But you know, you really don't need to do that. Because I can just use my phone.
Oh. Are you sure?
Oh yeah, don't worry. Really cheap to use, even though I'm on holiday.
So you don't need someone to...
No.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Yes, so this thing changed how we live together, to be a little bit in the context of this conference. This is one technology. Another one my parents told me about was around the 60s, 70s of last century, when the television set appeared nationwide. So at that time, I had rules. How many hours per week I can watch TV, what shows I'm allowed to watch alone, and on a Saturday evening, like every Luxembourger household, we watched Wetten, Das, yes, together as a family. And so there were rules. And a decade later, the same rules applied maybe for computer time. A decade later, maybe the same rules applied for internet time. A decade later, maybe for social media, for a smartphone. And maybe today, the same rules will apply for the use of AI or chatbots. So technology changes, and all these technologies I just mentioned hit us hard. How many couples got divorced because they couldn't agree on the same television program? 46% of people on Tinder are in a fixed relationship. So this is no AI. This is just kind of technology that hit us hard in the past. So AI is, of course, something new, a big thing. And of course, a lot of people here in the room, certainly as well, are worrying about our jobs. What will happen to our jobs? Will I lose my job? That's a very easy and small question. It's a complicated question because I believe there will be a lot of new jobs. I think about data scientists, data engineer, business intelligence, all the people working, data steward, working with data, prompt engineer, whatsoever. Yes, new jobs will emerge. And of course, other jobs might become more obsolete, and a lot of jobs will change a little bit. Today, we have not enough people to do all the work we need to do. And today, fortunately, we have robots that can do work that is maybe dangerous or not so fancy. Yes, of course, there are a lot of jobs where robots can help us, support us, and it is translators. Whatsoever jobs will be impacted. And as Anne said, I'm within the Ministry of Education. Of course, we think a lot about what jobs are we going to prepare the kids to. There will be jobs in a couple of years that don't exist yet, and we have to prepare them for that. I just take one example. The baker. The baker is a beautiful job. This is a website from the German labor market agency, Agentur für Arbeit. And they analyzed thousands of jobs. And they came up with the competences you need to do that job. And they did also pay competencies. They analyzed how much of every competency can already be done by a machine. And the baker can be done 100% by a machine. In other words, to do bread, we don't need humans. It can be 100% done by a machine. That will not mean that in the future we don't need bakers anymore. That will mean in the future we're going to have two types of bakers. The operators that operate the machine, put some salt and some water in it, hit some buttons and wait till it comes out. Okay. This is maybe cheap, mass-produced bread. On the other hand side, a lot of people have enough money to pay the triple of a price and to believe in some vegan local bio bread made by hand, by a real baker. Yes? And this bread will sell well as well. For me, the situation is this. Unfortunately, the people who earn not a lot of money have not that choice that other people have who can choose whether the supermarket bread or maybe the handmade bread, and where I believe it might be better. And so this splitting of the community, which has little to do with AI, but this splitting of the community, the unfair split, that's something that worries me, and especially in the context of this Living Together conference. Mr. Dallas, our Minister of Economy, recently, I think it was at the Nexus conference in June, said that people will not get replaced by machines, by AI, but people will get replaced by people who use AI. So it's really important that all of us, our society, whether you are working with AI or not, that you somehow get interested in AI and familiarize you maybe a little bit. I might give you one example. I get a lot of CVs because we are recruiting a lot. Please tell your kids, please tell your neighbor here in the room, do never ever put on your CV, I'm good in Word and Excel. This was in the 1990s, okay? Today, when I read the CV, I'm good in Excel. I say, what century are you in? Today, you have to write on your CV, I'm good in prompting. I can optimize prompts. I can think prompts before I enter them. This is interesting for my future employer because he knows I don't spend too much time on re-entering prompts and so forth. And you know, every prompt costs a lot of energy. That's one of the dark sides of AI. So the less prompts you do, the more energy you save. So that's a second example of being good in prompting. Your company can say, we are kind of green. So it's important to learn how to prompt, and this is a skill of the present, not of the future, of the present, and not Excel. I meet a lot of people who tell me, well, Serge, you know, Elon Musk style, the robots will sooner or later kill us. It's going to be the end of the world. And then the same people maybe during the day come to a conference and say, wow, Serge, have you seen this new cool stuff, Copilot? Wow, this is really cool. This AI stuff will solve all our problems, the climate crisis included. So I still witness, more than 3 years after the appearance of ChatGPT, that a lot of people are not yet well informed or are about to learn discover what AI is. And this is pretty interesting. And I would like you to give me some feedback, also the people watching us online. I would like you to take out your smartphone and I will ask you 2 questions, please. So, okay, so you can scan, please, the people at home or the people here in the room with your smartphone, the QR code. For those who have not a QR code reader handy, you can go to the website menti.com, it's on the top of the screen, and enter the code just on the right-hand side. And the question I would like to ask you is simple. How do you feel towards AI? Are you on the left-hand side, number 1, afraid? Are you on the right-hand side, 5, very happy, or somewhere in the middle? I asked this question now for nearly 3 years. I have asked this question to thousands of people, and I'm really interested now how you will be. And at the first sight, this is not surprising for me. So thank you all for contributing. We have, for the moment, 32 people who contributed. And we have here in the house, we have 7 people who maybe clicked the wrong button or who are really very happy, plus the 9 who are more or less positive. 9 and 7 makes 17. 17 is roughly half, not exactly half. We have nobody who is afraid, neither online nor here in the room. We have 6 people here in the room or online who are a little bit negative-ish, and we have 14 people who are not yet convinced. And this is a little bit what I see overall in the society. It's like this, a curve, where we have always a lot of people in favor, we have always people who are a little bit against, and we have still a lot of people who don't know yet where the adventure is bringing us to. So nothing for me that worries me, and for you as well. I would like to ask you a second and last question. How often do you use AI, especially when it comes to chatbots? You can call it ChatGPT, you can call it Copilot, Mistral, Claude, or any other chatbot. How often do you use such a device? We have 46 people connected. And this is now a little bit, how could I call it? A little bit surprising. We have a lot of power users here in the house. 20 plus 10 is 30. So way more than 2/3 of all the people connected use it more or less often. 3 people never use it, and that's for me not a surprise. I every day encounter people who never used AI. No problem for me, no judgment. And we have 7 people who use it sometimes. Okay. Just to have a little bit feeling, the people from the ministry, how maybe this is a not representative view on the society. Thank you very much for contributing. I leave the website open if you want to check it out later. Well, what does it mean for education? And I don't think just education when it comes to pupils in the primary school or the secondary school. I also mean, what does it mean for our citizens? How do we need to learn what AI is? And of course, I think, first of all, I would teach the people what are the dangers of AI. And well, now here in a nutshell, because we are running out of time, there's one thing that worries me a lot, which are fake news.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Free little bird, keep on my doorstep.
Well, these things are so good, this AI system. We are laughing because we know these people and we know it's not right, it's fake. But kids, youngsters, who don't know these people, well, this might be dangerous. And some of you might know that there are still a lot of errors in AI-generated videos, like 6 fingers, the nose is missing, something like that. But in the near future, these AI systems will improve, will get better. So it will get harder and harder to make the difference between a fake and not a fake. And this is something we have to learn how to live with that. Fake news existed forever in the newspaper. That's something media literacy teaches us at school. Now it's going to be more present, maybe, more important to learn it. At the Digital Learning Hub, please allow me to spend some seconds on what we do at the Digital Learning Hub. Like Anne said, we are in this beautiful red building, a block of this building, and we are offering trainings in merely every domain of IT. This year we had over 670 trainings. We achieved now 10,000 registrations, and it's open for everybody. We have really basic prompt engineering trainings for everybody. We have advanced trainings, how to compare different models, even statistic probabilities, how to calculate models and so forth. The trainings are €4 per hour, so it's affordable. We are a public school, so don't worry. It's for free for job seekers, students, and public servants, and so forth. So please maybe join us. We have a website, dlh.lu, digitallearninghub.lu, where you can just select what trainings you want. And this year, more than a third of all our trainings have been in the AI area. This is really so much hyping. And yes, we have something very cool at the Digital Learning Hub. If you remember your good old times in secondary school, what was really troubling you? Maybe the teacher. We have a school without teachers.
42 Luxembourg, the coding school of the future that's free, flexible, and open for everybody. 42 has no teachers and no classes. There's only you, your peers, and a selection of carefully crafted, collaborative projects that will teach you how to program and kickstart the IT career of your choice. Register now and deep dive into our 4-week trial period. Find out more on 42luxembourg.lu.
So this is a coding school if you, your kids, your neighbors' kids, or whoever would like to learn how to become a developer, which is one of the most demanded jobs in Luxembourg. So this is a school without prerequisites. You come in, we have a big room of 100, 150 people, and you immediately start coding. And of course, at the beginning, it's like hell because you don't know how to code. And you start watching YouTube tutorials, you start using ChatGPT, and you start, of course, talking to all the other people. And this peer learning system then starts. You have 2 years' time to finish the curriculum. The fastest can do it in 9 months. It's open 24/7, that's the clue. We will be open on Christmas, on New Year's Eve, 1st of January. It's open around the clock. We have 2 guards that allows everybody to learn, to change the career according to your professional and personal constraints. We have people who only come in on weekends, only overnight. We have power users that are there 60 hours a day, 7 days a week. No problem. We don't care. We don't ask questions. Just learn and become available for the Luxembourgish labor market. It's Luxembourg. It's all for free. Visit me at the Digital Learning Hub. It's so cool. It's a privilege. So what the Digital Learning Hub does, we have this huge catalog of 650 plus trainings. We have 42 the coding school. And last week, our minister, Claude Meisch, just announced 3 new academies. Starting, the registrations are open, but starting April 2026, we will start the Cybersecurity Academy, an AI Academy, and a Quantum Computer Academy, which you can do in 7 months or 14 months, according to the time you have available, say 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week. That's just cool. So please spread the message. Okay, getting back to AI. Who speaks Italian here in the room? Yeah, because I thank you, 2, 3 people. I cannot speak Italian. I need your help.
Das ist wirklich formidabel. Ich brauche just ein einziges Video von 30 Sekunden abzuhören. Schon können eben heute Programm mein Gesicht mit egal welcher Stimme verschaffen.
Hello world. This is really amazing what you can do with HeyGen. I recorded an original text in Luxembourgish and now I can generate any text in any language. È davvero sorprendente quello che puoi fare con HeyGen. Puoi lasciare che il tuo avatar dica qualsiasi cosa in qualsiasi lingua. Grande. Devi provarlo.
So grande, I could manage to... How was my Italian? Sorry?
Grande is like mega.
Yeah, okay. And the rest? How was my...
It sounded right.
Yeah.
Even
with an accent. Ah, okay.
It wasn't flat.
Ah, nice. Cool. Ah, nice. Okay. So it's a free tool. And in a field, you enter a text, you select the language, and it uses my voice. It has 100% synchronization of your lips. It's amazing. It's an opportunity for you teaching your kids a foreign language, for you learning, playing with a foreign language. It's just cool. Of course, there are dangers of a misuse behind that, but it's excellent what you can do. Maybe something you already know, because most of you are power users. You need to invent an exercise for your kids about the theorem of Pythagoras, and you are not very creative. So you ask, please pull me up an exercise with something with pirates. And ChatGPT, for example, tells you, okay, the pirates hit a treasure. You have to go from this starting point 5 feet, turn, 2 more steps, and there's the treasure. And you ask the kids, what's the shortest way? The kids will say, well, this way. What's the length of this way? And you remember the good old times from secondary school. It's a C square equals A square, something like that, okay? So this helps you maybe to get a little bit more creative. You have plenty today of tools, AI tools for sound, for video, for text, a lot of that. You will get the slides afterwards, so don't worry. Another example is, I always trouble and still trouble with the use of gerund and infinitive in English. So I asked ChatGPT, can you create me an exercise where I have to use it? So now it's your turn. Would you mind helping or to help me studying or to study for the upcoming exam? If you struggle as well, you just ask the correct answer. Would you mind helping me to study for the upcoming exam? So this is nice to learn a foreign language, to have exercises and so forth. Something I always also use is when I would like to brainstorm with an AI. I live in the north, I work on the south, I have at least 1 hour travel in every direction, and I have the best ideas while in the car. So I use the app for ChatGPT to brainstorm.
Hi, ChatGPT. I have to throw a party with some friends next Saturday evening, and I would like to get some ideas about some games, maybe with alcohol, but not too much. There will be girls and boys, and some are brand new, so I also need some kind of icebreaker. Please give me some ideas.
As you have witnessed already at the beginning of this presentation, the text recognition, the voice recognition is just perfect. And of course, ChatGPT gives you ideas for your party. Well, in the evening when I drive home, I go back to the same session, to the same chat, and I say, well, add a little bit more alcohol or whatsoever. And so over the week, I can, in the same chat, discuss, brainstorm with ChatGPT. And on the Friday afternoon, I just say, give me the list of things to buy at Cactus for my party tonight. Yes? So it structures my ideas. And this is something we also tried already at work. We put ChatGPT or some other tool there, and we have a meeting. And at the end of the meeting, you just say, give me the report. And it recognizes the voices. It tells you person 1 said this, person 2 said that. So you have a transcript, and you can also say, create a summary, a report of the meeting. ChatGPT is not bad. You have other tools like otter.ai, which is way better in that. But it's really amazing what you can do with that. I'm very old already. So at my age, you're going to have problems. I have problems with my hip. I have arthrosis. And as you do it the same way, when you go to doctor, you Google everything, and you tell the doctor what you have. So I found out that I have a problem with this bone, and that's the name of the bone. Unfortunately, it's Latin, and I cannot speak Latin. So I asked ChatGPT, how can I pronounce this? And ChatGPT comes up with words I need to say that sounds eventually like this Latin word. It's simple, stupid, but it helps me in everyday life, and maybe for learning a foreign languages, not bad. How do you call this thing? Well, I even don't know how to call it in Luxembourgish, but I don't know. How do you call it in Luxembourgish? Okay. The challenge is, how do you call it in German? Well, this is my door at my office, and I just asked ChatGPT, how do you call the thing I'm pointing at? Fallenriegel. Ah, okay, cool. But for me, it's amazing. It's a large language model. It understood the concept of me pointing at something. It understood the concept of a door lock, and it detected the thing and it translated it. So it's really amazing what you can do with AI. I am never nearly never sick. Recently, I had the flu. And only the gentleman here in the room and online will understand that I was close to death. And in the evening, I went to my shelf in the kitchen. I took every medicine I found, but I didn't remember what it is good for. So I asked ChatGPT with this picture, can you create me a table of the side effects and applications for every drug? And afterwards I checked. It's right. Of course, this does never ever replace a medical doctor. But I survived the night. Yes. And this is amazing. And just for the joke of it, I put the milk can there, and it did not detect the milk as a medicine, which is really cool. Ah yes, our friends in China.
红色是表示你的专注力显示得很高。
Teachers at this primary school in China
蓝色是走神了。
know exactly when someone isn't paying attention.
白色就是你可能跟网络还没有连接好。
These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents.
I spoke to a lot of principals and school directors. They say, never ever in my school. Well, this is something might be discussable. Let's call it like that. Another example is when you apply for a job here in Luxembourg at the public service, all the jobs are published on GovJobs. I just have one here, this director. And this is my LinkedIn profile. Everything you see on my LinkedIn profile is public. Please add me. We can stay connected. And what I did, I just copy-pasted the job description, and I took the content from my LinkedIn profile, and I asked ChatGPT, does that person match? And it said me, Serge Linckels is a strong match for this director role, thanks to his leadership, blah, 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 and so forth. So this is how today CV matching or CV scoring is performed in a lot of big companies where they get hundreds of CVs for a job opening. And Sortify is a Luxembourgish company specialized in this kind of work. Then I tried, of course, the same, copy-paste, and I said, write me a letter of application. And I'm not a linguist, but this is really very strong. Huh? En tant que managing director, it writes on my behalf, and I never could have written it better. And yes, this is the new world. And I'm so old. When I was a kid or youngster, I was told that you have to write your letter of application by hand. One mistake and you get kicked out. Today I recruit a lot, and when people come to me in an interview, I hope that at least they have read their own letter of application. It's a new world. It's a new world. And companies deal with that because we need to adapt. Just for the fun of it, I asked ChatGPT, can you make the letter of application rhyme? And you can still read it. It's impressive for me. The question is this cheating? Well, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Discussable. I think most of us today who are here in the room cheated because we used a car, a bus, a train to get here. We used technology. We should have walked. If you write something in Word, a text, you cheat because you have to write it by hand, yes? So if you use now ChatGPT or any other AI system, is it cheating? Or is it the next level of helpful tools? I'm not sure. A lot of people, especially teachers, are worrying a lot about using AI and kids cheat. I'm not sure what cheating in this context means. Well, if you would like to fight against cheating, this is one of many websites where you can just paste a text and the system highlights passages where it thinks it was generated by AI. It is little reliable. I've never found a system that is really reliable, but at least for those who are looking for such thing, it exists. Will people get more stupid when they use AI? That's a good question. There are plenty of research papers on it. I just pull out one and I really summarize it at max. It's from MIT. It's a recent study. And MIT came to the conclusion that it will, to two conclusions actually. People who are very literate, who are interested in the news, who would like to learn more, who would like to remain informed, when these people use AI, they even can get better. Those people who stay at home, on the couch, watching TV shows all day long, are not interested in the real world, are not literated, do never read a book. Well, with AI, they might get even less literated. And really, in a nutshell, this is something that worries me, this splitting of the society. It happens for decades already, literate people versus less literate people. But maybe with AI, this gap increases way faster than before. And this troubles me. What can we do to keep both a little bit together? That you are worried, it's nothing new. This is the newspaper that's very popular in Luxembourg, Luxembourg Revue from '72, that shows on the front page, from now on, kids will learn with a television set. We don't need schools anymore. The article is about no more bus, no more traffic. We just broadcast Telekolleg, Sendung mit der Maus, all these fancy learning shows. Today you laugh on that, but at the good old times, the teachers worried a lot. 10 years later, when the calculator appeared, the mathematical teachers were on strike because they feared that they will be of no use anymore. The kids will cheat while using a calculator. And you see, every time a new technology appears, there is some kind of frustration. I'm approaching already the end of my presentation, and I need your collaboration. What is the next number? Please shout it out loud. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to check if the people here in the room, maybe all that those at home shouted as well. I didn't hear you. Wanted to check if you're still not asleep. 8. You always added 2, I guess. Well, I'm listening. Is there no any other possibility? 16. Sorry? 16. How did you calculate 16?
16.
Yeah, how did you calculate it?
14 plus 2.
2 plus how much is 4? I didn't get it. How do you get the 16 here?
He said that.
Okay, sorry. Next one. Okay, sorry. No, instead of the 8, is there no other possibility?
Could be 12.
How did you call it?
2 times 2 is 4.
That was a good idea. I don't know. 10. 10 is good. How did you calculate 10? Yeah, 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. That's really great. Actually, you could also have said, I count down because I didn't tell you to count upwards. You could have just repeated this sequence of 3 numbers, and actually you could have said any number because I didn't tell you it is a sequence. My question at the very end of this conference, why did you say 8? Sorry, again?
Because of our bias.
Bias, yeah, I agree. Maybe we have been trained by society to think simple. It's 8. Can I go home now? I shut down my brain. Done. Easy. I don't think critical anymore. And well, my message at the end is now, if we keep on training our kids to say 8 and then shut down the brain, well, we're going to lose against the machines because the machines will say 8 much faster than we do and will say all the other combinations way faster than we are going to tell it. So I hope that we will not insist on the 8, on the result. The 8 is not important. The way how we think and the critical thinking, could it be also a different number instead of the 8? Everybody will say 8. What else could I tell? And this is something, this critical thinking, that is something that makes us human, and that's something we need to promote. I really believe that the future is not just technology. Today, you're all happy about AI, most of you. Today, our trainings are full of people who would like to learn about AI. I meet a lot of companies who ask me, what can I do in my company? How can I use AI to make my company even better? So everybody wants to use a maximum of AI. And I tell the companies, okay, that's so cool, but you're going to see in a couple of years, it's going to be the contrary. You will make a difference by saying we do not use AI or we use little AI. AI will not disappear. But please think back on the COVID time. We were all at home, it was cool. But afterwards, we are happy to get back to the coffee machine and talk to our friends. We are human beings. We are a species that's very social. We need human contact. And a company who can say, human insight, made by human. At our reception, there is a human person. Yes, that person sometimes ill, has to go to the toilet, sometimes is in a bad mood. Sometimes you have to wait 2 minutes before in line, but it's a human. And people will prefer coming to your company where they are humans rather than talking to a chatbot or some robot. And that's going to happen in a couple of years. So the future is way more than just technology. And I'm very much looking forward to this time. I hope this small excursion into the world of AI and robots was a little bit interesting for you. Of course, you're going to have questions. Can you ask questions as much as you want? But for now, thank you very much for your attention. So I don't know, Anne, if you would like to moderate or Jacques. Thank you very much, Anne and Jacques, for the organization, and also thank you very much, Peter, at the technique.
Here.
Please, sir.
So, of course, I'm quite fascinated by the presentation, and I'm one of those who is more positively but still reluctant to it. What scares me the most, of course, it's not IA in itself. But for the moment, one thing that preoccupies me the most is the business model behind IA at this moment. And there's some kind of monopoly, and there's an interesting book, I didn't read it all yet, but Yanis Varoufakis about techno-feudalism. It has more to do with capitalism and the way economy evolves, but the business model that actually exists with the monopoly of a few, that scares me the most. Mm-hmm. As a specialist, what can you say about it? Because the link with living together is the danger for democracy too.
Yeah, I fully agree, and it worries me as well, so I can just emphasize what you just said. It troubles me that the big AI products are mostly run by big AI US tech companies. And some people who are maybe some American president or whoever will decide office.com or whatsoever.com doesn't work anymore for Europe, it's going to be a problem. So it's all about a little bit sovereignty of Europe as well. The good news for me is that the Luxembourgish government is working very, very hard and on having its own here in Luxembourg put in place, the AI technology for Mistral, which is also the European choice. We're going to have our own sovereign infrastructure here in Luxembourg. And we try over the next years also thinking on Mrs. von der Leyen's strategy and priorities. We try to keep the brains in Europe. We try to become sovereign, and we try to build our own solutions, not to depend too much from the big US companies. It will take some more time, but I'm fully aligned with what you said. Thank you. That's a good point. They have plenty of DeepSeeks and other chatbots which are really great, as all the others. The Luxembourgish government, more especially Mr. Luc Frieden, on the 13th of January this year, sent a round mail to all the public servants, head of departments, that they should not use DeepSeek and the Chinese products, only use the Luxembourgish provided tools or the American where we have an agreement on. So we don't know exactly how transparent China is. With the US, we have some agreements, for example, with Microsoft, and Microsoft promises us that the data will remain in Europe, and we believe it. We don't have this agreement with China. So that makes it more complicated to work with China as a partner.
What about China as a competitor in this race?
Sorry, the people online don't hear this.
Thank you. The second part of the question about China. What about competition between the United States and China within this race? Yeah. Quen and other models, they're pretty much fascinating, what do you think about it?
Well, I was recently at a conference where there was a lot about AI, and there was a Chinese booth. And the Chinese gentleman said, what you are presenting here, what you are thinking about, we already have it in China. So China has a huge advancement over Europe. I don't know how much over US. So I don't know if it's talking about entering in competition with China. But I guess, and I believe, and that's a little bit the Luxembourgish model, we try to find a niche where Luxembourg can make change. I'm thinking now precisely about the data infrastructures, and I'm thinking precisely about the quantum technologies, which is emerging, and where Luxembourg tries to become a red dot on the world market. So we're going to lose if we play against self-driving cars of China and the US. We're going to lose. They are too far, have a too big advancement. But on quantum and on data, there we can make a difference and become kind of world leader. I'm not just talking about Luxembourg, but about Europe in general. Is there maybe another question? Yes, the gentleman, please take the microphone.
Thank you so much, first of all, for a presentation. My question would be regarding the privacy. So when we started the presentation, you asked ChatGPT about the environment and all this thing, and then announced that what location you are in as of now. So as it's okay, it's everyone knows where we are right now, but considering that it knows too much and then announced in like to unwanted people. So how do you see that as well?
Thank you very much for the question. Just to give you a technical insight on what I did, I prepared it. Just before you entered, I said to ChatGPT, I'm now here at the Ministry of Family and so forth. So I prepared it a little bit. But it remembers it, it memorizes it. So in a week, it still knows where I was and so forth. And that's, for me, it's useful because I can use the past knowledge for doing some computation. But, and I agree with you, we have to pay a lot of attention what you are entering in such, especially maybe kids. During the conference, I told you that if you're doing a meeting, just put your phone with Otter AI and you talk. Well, everything you share on that meeting, say private personal data, GDPR, or maybe some industrial secrets, well, it's immediately in the US. These are mainly US companies. It's immediately to the US. So we have to train to be carefully what we tell the AI. And I was told that when it comes to intelligence, military intelligence, it's not about what you and what we are doing. It doesn't interest anybody. But it's maybe more broader view. China, America knows how much we are talking about cybersecurity, how many people we have trained in cyber. So they have some military evidence looking at the big picture. And that's why not maybe the personal detail is important, but have a broader look. So we have to be careful what we share on such AIs. And maybe this is also a skill and something we have to learn. Very good point. Thank you. Yes, the Christmas market is waiting outside. But there we have another question. Thank you.
Hello. This is regarding the final example that you gave about the series, and when everybody said 2, 4, and 8, and so on. My question is, we as humans / animals, we tend to make patterns, and that is how we kind of live in this world and protect ourselves from danger. So when you suggest, okay, with AI, think differently, have a bias, I kind of disagree. Maybe it's not a bias. It's a human instinct of behaving in a certain way. And we first take the lowest hanging fruit. So maybe that is why we thought that this is how the series goes. And if we take some time, maybe we go differently. But with AI, and when you say, okay, let's think differently or something on that lines, don't you think that we are training ourselves to go against our own instincts?
I thank you very much for the comment. I don't have a good answer because what you say is absolutely true. You have maybe way more expertise in that field I have. Maybe I can put a little bit on context. I got this statement I just made from New Zealand. New Zealand has a strategy in education which is called good thinking. It's about teaching the kids how to think. They don't have, well, I don't know if it's in every school, but they don't have an eraser. When you make a mistake, it should remain there and not be erased to remind you of what you learned. And even though when kids do mistakes, they somehow publish it in the school to say, thank you for making the mistake, now the community can learn. And so think twice, check what the others did, and then improve. This is a little bit the context, and I got the same example from New Zealand. And this is what I say, don't think too much about the result and then it's all over, but think critical, remain critical is about the way you think. But I agree, it's maybe a little bit against some instinct we might have as animals. I fully agree. Thank you. Question? I don't know, Jacques, if you have some more time, or Anne for a last word from your side.
Well, yes, I think since we are a bit over time, I would like to thank you
I think, Serge, you are staying along. We have some sandwiches outside. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Please have a sandwich and a drink, and maybe you can have a talk to Serge or to us if you have any further questions. And yes, thank you, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
And thank you, Serge, of course, for this very interesting talk.